Before we proceed with the meeting, here are some disclaimers to take note. By joining this session, you are giving consent to the organizer to use your image and video for Toastmaster related purposes. You agree to allow Toastmaster International to use your photos and videos for any purposes. You are not entitled for any compensation for your image that may appear in the video. And there are 4 simple house rules to follow for the following meeting. First, please switch off your handphone or set it on silent mode. 2, no clipping nails or eating in front of the webcam to distract the speakers. Basically, inappropriate actions. 3rd, please dress appropriately. Any shirt will do. 4th, mute your microphone when you're not speaking. Okay, now let me pass the stage and the spotlight to our president of UTAR SG Toastmaster Club, 𝐭𝐤𝐤𝐤. The stage is yours for your welcoming address.
Then Toastmaster Pang Williams. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Welcome to University Malaya Toastmaster Club and UTAR SG Toastmaster Club joint meetings. Special welcome to our general evaluators, Annie Wong, Innovative Planning Level 5. Annie Wong is the current Area B1 Director. She is also the President of 𝐭𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐬 Toastmaster Club. Distinguished Toastmaster Rohi Jas. I would also like to welcome all other guests who are with us tonight. Tonight, our meeting theme is failure is the starting point, as you can see in our agenda. In your life of journey, you will face many different kinds of failures. Failure may cause you depression, feel blue, and loss of hope. However, if you change and think about what lesson you can learn from this failure, so that you will not make the same mistake again in the future of time. For example, you may ask yourself, have you prepared well enough? Have you sought for a while since you are lack of experience in this area? What would you do differently in the same situations when facing the same problem in the future? As a student, if you want to become an outstanding student, you need to acquire not only the knowledge from textbook, but also soft skills such as critical thinking skills and presentation skills. Practice makes perfect. You need to go diligently practice and never give up or go. During the process, you may face many obstacles that you haven't faced before. But just to remember, failure is the starting point of success. You will definitely reach your desired destinations one day. Without further ado, let me introduce our Toastmaster of the evening tonight. He is none other than 𝐵𝐿, Presentations Mastery Level 1. He is a student doing physics in University Malaya, a Toastmaster who seeks to improve his English speaking skills, a wanderer who tries to understand how the universe works, and a random guy who will conduct this meeting to its fullness. Let us put our hands together to welcome 𝐵𝐿.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for my wonderful introductions. He read every single word that I sent him, that I want him to introduce me. It's so funny. I like that. Thank you again, Thomas. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening everyone, UTARians, UMrians, I do not know, University Malayans, and welcome to UMX UTAR SG meeting, joint meeting that happening for 2 hours from now, and I will be your host or your MC, or in Toastmaster term, we call it as Toastmaster of the evening. So I'll be conducting throughout the meeting to make it smooth, to make it enjoyable, and let's just have fun in today's meeting. So, slide master, can you please share your screen? Share my screen. To kickstart the meeting, I would like to share a few things about Toastmasters, not just for the benefits of guests, but also for the members. Remember, I want you to remember the purpose you joined Toastmaster. Why are you here in our meetings? Why did you join Toastmaster at the first place? So to better understand, to let you reflect on your journey, I will start with the history. So on the pictures on the left, you can see a person named Ralph. Oh, that's new. Ralph Chestnut Smedley. He was the founder of Toastmaster International. And the picture on the right, you will see the building where he started Toastmasters to train men to speak better. So next slide, please. So over the years, of course, time evolves as well as humans, technologies, as well as Toastmasters. So Toastmaster is no more an organization just fully focused on public speaking, but it's also focused on a wide variety of aspects that we have to learn to survive in this social group, social world. For example, public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and confidence. So as you can see in the slides, a quick reminder for all members and guests, we as a Toastmaster, we have access to over a network of over 300,000 members in 16,000 clubs, over 141 countries. Not because it's an international organization, it doesn't mean that we are limited to our club. In fact, we have access to those big numbers as you could imagine. So worldwide non-profit educational organizations, it's non-profit, it's educational, and we do have an educational program that I would like to show you in next slide. Oh, before this, just showing a couple of things that you will benefit from Toastmaster experience. These are some benefits you will gain if you are members, but of course, if you are guests, you join our meetings, you will gain a few things too. But I just want to let members know that right now you are in your current positions of your Toastmaster journey. Look at the benefits that you will have. It's unlimited. The potential is big. Don't limit yourself into the things that you aim at the first place. You are open to a wide variety of options in Toastmasters. So just a quick review on the benefits that you will learn. Next slide. Toastmaster Club, a pathway learning experience. Okay, this slide is the one I want to talk about. So for everyone, if you have access to the agenda, in fact, the Zoom master can pull up the agenda in the chat box now. On the last page, you will see a list of core, I cannot show you, huh? A list of core competencies that we as Toastmaster members will learn about. Okay, anything from public speaking up to confidence. The path that I'm choosing is called presentation mastery because I wanted to improve my public speaking and also confidence. And I'm safe to say that I'm on my journey. Of course, I'm not perfect, but at least I'm improving. So these are the paths that every Toastmaster members is accessible throughout their Toastmaster journey. 11 paths to choose from, different paths focus on different core competency. All right, next. Learning doesn't stop at club. As I said just now, you have a lot of resources on Toastmaster International Network, as well as over the big numbers that I showed you just now. Right, so grab the opportunity even for members, also for guests. Yep, next slide. So the kicks to really make this meeting wonderful, many beneficial, we want to have this meeting, these 2 hours, as beneficial as possible. I want you all to gain more things, as many things as possible from this 2 hours meeting. So we have role players to help us to maximize our learning. And I would like to start the role players introduction with Grammarian, Toastmaster Joshua. Over to you.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Tonight, I will be your grammarian. As the grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is blunder. Yes, blunder. Can you guys see? It's quite small
Yep.
though. And the meaning of blunder is to make a stupid or careless mistake. So an example is Joshua made a blunder which resulted in the loss of United against Kuala Lumpur in the football match. So meaning that Joshua made a careless mistake when he was playing football.
Okay, thank you so much.
So each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and at the end of this meeting, I will give the grammarian's report when called upon. And thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
So we all hope that we wouldn't make any blunder today. Yeah, I hope so. I wouldn't make any blunder. Let's move on to the next role players who will help us to maximize our learning. Zoom Master. Thank you so much. So we have R counters and timers. I will first like to introduce R counter first. Toastmaster Susan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Fellow Toastmaster and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crunch or pause below by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including R, I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this mean. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used this expression. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Okay, moving on to timer.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Hi everyone, I'm 𝐭, and today I'll be your timer. As a timer, I'll be keeping track of the time used during speeches, table topics, and also evaluation. I will also alert each speaker of the time they use using green, yellow, and red cards, which will indicate how much time is remaining. At the end of the meeting, I'll give a time report to show who is eligible for voting. That's all from me. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
All right, last but not least, General Evaluator. Toastmaster A.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. As a general evaluator, I'm here to evaluate before, during, and after the meeting. And this is such a wonderful night for every one of us to make blunder mistakes over here. So it's totally fine because Toastmaster is where we learn from mistake. And thank you very much. I will give my evaluation report at the end of the session, together with my technical role players. Just now you have already met them, and also speech evaluators. Thank you very much. Over back to you, TME.
Thank you so much. So those are the lists, including evaluators I shall introduce later to help us maximize this meeting to its fullest. So without further ado, let us go to the first sessions, which we call it as table topic sessions. And table topic session is a session conducted by Toastmaster Jin Wang, and he shall explain to you what is table topics and how you all can participate to gain experience. Toastmaster Jin Wang is also doing a project in the pathway called active listening. So in this meeting, he has to be table topic master. He has to listen carefully to those table topic speakers, and after that, he will give some summary or feedback to those speakers, and his project is evaluated by Toastmaster Hong Bin. So without further ado, let's welcome the table topic master. Toastmaster Jin Wang.
Good evening, everyone. May I share my screen now?
I believe you are allowed to do so. Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So here comes one of the most exciting portions in a Toastmaster meeting, which is the table topic session. In this session, the table topic speakers will be given a random topic for them to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And all Toastmasters and guests are welcome to participate in the table topics. And today, as your table topic master, I'll be asking questions related to our themes today. Failure is the starting point. And I also encourage you to use the word of the day, blunder. For today's table topic session, I have prepared 6 topics which ranks from the simplest topic, which is topic number 1, to the most difficult topic, topic number 6. So, may I know who wants to be the first?
Can I try?
Sorry, may I know who is speaking?
It's me, William.
Let Miss
Okay.
Kula.
Oh, Miss Kua. Oh,
Miss Kula give the topics.
oh, Miss Kua. Okay, Miss Kua first.
Go for a second.
Okay. So, who is first? Sorry, I looked.
I'll be first.
Miss Kua, Miss Kua, Miss Kua.
Oh, Miss Koo. Okay. So, Miss Koo, may I know which topic you want to choose?
Number 1.
Okay, topic number 1. So, Miss Koo, your topic will be the most embarrassing moment in your life. The most embarrassing moment in your life, Toastmaster Kosa. Oh, the floor is yours.
The most embarrassing moment in my life. Offhand, I can't recall what is the most embarrassing moment in my life, but I can recall what happened just now. During lunchtime, I actually went to the Giant Mini near my campus there to buy something. Actually, I just bought the carrots. And after that, the cashier asked me, "Do you need a plastic bag?" I said, "No need." So, and then I walked out from the Giant Mini. Then after work, when I want to come home to do some cooking, so I realized that the carrots was not there. So I was thinking very hard what happened. Then I said, I must left the carrots in the store. So I was thinking, should I go back or should I not go back to the store? Then I said, yeah, since it's just nearby, I just drove to the Giant Mini. And then I'm just trying my luck. I just with my small receipt, I just go and say that, oh, I paid this, about during my lunchtime, I bought this, and then when I went back to my office, I couldn't find it. So yeah, if they decided not to, give me whatever that I bought, then I also couldn't do anything. But I was trying my luck. So eventually, I think one of the supervisor came over, and then he told me that yes, I saw it at the counter, the 2 carrots. So at the end, he gave me my carrots that he kept aside. So that was something to me. It's like quite embarrassing because I was thinking why I was so forgetful. I just pay the money already. Then I actually didn't collect the goods. So I've made a blunder of myself this afternoon. Over to you, Jing Wang.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster 𝐻𝐸𝐿 for sharing your experience with us in which you have made a small blunder this afternoon. And I believe it has given a lesson to all of us here to pay attention to the things, whether we have put all the things before you leave the counter or not. And sorry that I forgot to mention the timing just now, and thanks for Toastmaster 𝐵𝐿 for the reminder. And for table topic session, each speaker will be given 1 to 2 minutes to speak. You will see a green background at 1 minute, yellow background at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red background at 2 minutes. And you have an additional 30 seconds to conclude your speech. A kindly reminder to pin the timer before you start to speak. So may I know who will be the next person, next table topic?
Hello, can I try? Or maybe some from UM first, not sure.
Try lah. You volunteer already. Let's go.
Okay lah.
So Toastmaster William, which topic you want to choose?
I challenge the hardest one, since this week is the hardest time of my life.
Topic number 6, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So Toastmaster William, your topic is imagine a world without failure. Imagine a world without failure. Toastmaster William, the stage is yours.
A world without failure. It is called utopia. This is something I believe many people have heard this before. Utopia. At first, I was unfamiliar with this term, but as I grew up, I found out many theories and many things are associated with utopia, which means that the thing proposed is perfect, but nothing in this world is perfect, and with perfection, no one can improve. I was very captivated with one phrase. It says that a calm sea will not train or will not sculpt a brave sailor or a great sailor. So if I imagine a world without failure, in this world, no one is a failure and no one can success as well, because you have no comparison. So a calm sea will not sculpt a great sailor. This always tells me that whenever you face this failure or you face hardship, never be afraid, and you should embrace it to cope with it and overcome it so you can be a better person. So this also reminds me that this world that we live in is not without failure. So whenever I do something or whenever I face hardship and challenges, I will take on the challenge. Like just now I did. I take the hardest topic ever. I mean, at least for this table topic session, to challenge the hardest thing, to fail the hardest so I can achieve the greatest success of my life. At last, I would like to urge everyone to not be afraid or frightened by anything in your life, because 10 years after you face these challenges or this failure, you see that this is a very tiny thing. And I would like to end my speech with a quote. When you encounter something or hardship, when you are at the first floor, you see that this problem or this challenge is very big. But when you are at the 10th floor, you will see everything that you face is actually very tiny in your life. So never afraid of being a failure or never afraid to fail. Try everything you can. Thank you, and back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster William, for your amazing speech. I agree on what you said, that with perfection, no one can improve. Therefore, let us try, fail, overcome it, and be better. So I saw in the chat box now will be Toastmaster Saiful. Let to give you a try, right?
All right. Okay. You give me the number. Up to you.
I give you the number.
Yep.
Okay. So I think it will be. Let me share my screen first. I should give you topic number 5 lah.
Okay, number 5.
The hardest topic that available for now. So Toastmaster Saiful, your topic is success test sweeter only after failure. Success
Ayo, that tough lah. That not tough lah.
after failure. Yeah, like what I just now, all topic are simple to you. So over to you, Toastmaster Saiful.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Success tastes sweeter only after failure. That's true. Make it a very simple one. I try to have a pinch of salt. You try after this and put it in your mouth. After a while, then you take a plain water and you drink it. You realize that the plain water tastes sweeter. Ladies and gentlemen, when we are talking about failure, we are talking about blunder in our life. Those are normal for human being. In fact, we are here as a human being managed to grow up to this point of our life because all the blunders and all the mistakes that we make. Because without the mistake, without the blunders, without the failure, you won't come to be here. You won't come to be you won't come to UTAR, you won't come to UM. You want to know why? Because you know that in the eye of your parents, if you are a failure, you mati. So you have to work hard. You have to study in order to get the grade. And all those things actually make life sweeter. You might not have as many experience like Annie or Rohijas. I'm still young, but about your age, but those are very old one. They can tell you how the failure shaped them. Annie to become a great entrepreneur right now. Rohijas is one of the superb engineer. You want to ask for job, you ask for Rohijas lah. And those they can tell you they are being at that point because all the failure they have been through and what they're learning from it. Because the best teacher is when you go through it and fail and understand, and from there you will learn. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Wow, thank you, Toastmaster Saiful, for your fantastic speech. First speech, I can really see that you really agree with that after we fail, only we can learn and be better. And I also agree with what you said that without failure, we won't be here today. So I saw in the chat box, Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴 would like to give you a try, right? Is it?
Yeah, if Patricia don't want to try, I challenge her to try. Go.
Toastmaster Patricia, would you like to?
No,
try?
she's a guest. Okay, she said her mic was up, so okay, so I'll take it lah.
Okay, let me share my screen.
I'll take number 3.
Okay, topic number 3. So Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴, your topic is, should a person be punished after failure? Should a person be punished after failure? Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴, over to you.
Let me ask you this question. How many of you have been caned before? In your primary school, anytime?
I still remember this one vivid memory when I was in a primary school. And then at the time, our primary school, the English language exam paper will have section A, B, and C. The section A is the making a sentence for 10 consecutive picture, right? So every time for that particular segment, I would always forget the full stop. And then one mark is gone. So there's total of 10 marks. There's this one time I forgot the full stop for 6 times out of the 10 questions. And then my teacher got so fed up with me that she told me quite a lot of times to remember your full stop, remember your full stop, remember your full stop. If not, I full stop your face. And then she fed up already. And then she just one by one, you count yourself, how many full stop you are missing, then I'll rotan you how many times for that blunder itself. Okay, 6 times. All right. Okay, I can take it. And after that day, all my full stop are 2 centimeters in diameter. So should you be punished after a failure, after a blunder? Yes, definitely. It makes it more memorable. It makes it more precious of a lesson that you learn in your life. But they do have some of the failures that that failure itself is a great punishment on its own. For that, maybe we'll have another day to discuss about this question. So thank you. Back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asher, for your amazing speech. So I do agree with your opinion that we should be punished when we made a blunder so that it will be more memorable to us. And I remember I have been canned for 30 times during my primary school. So horrible the experience is. And I think the time is up, so I will now pass the floor back to the Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much. There was pretty wonderful sessions by Toastmaster, table topic master Toastmaster Jinma. So again, you have experienced table topics, you have experienced the beginning of the sessions, and we're going to experience a member exclusive sessions. We call it as prepare speech sessions. I'm not sure if we have a slide or not to master, but if you do have, you can share it right now. This session is the one that we Toastmaster member really benefits from our membership experience. Okay, this is the session where we train, where we practice the last page of the agenda and put into our real life. So I would like Zoom Master to again share the screen. Zoom.
I believe SAA will share.
Oh, SAA, sorry. Confused about Zoom Master and ASA. Toastmaster video.
About the speech. Right. This one is by who?
Yeah, it's okay. Toastmaster 𝐭𝐫 has already shared it. Thank you. So in today's meeting, we have 4 speakers, 4 members attending 4 projects that will be evaluated by 4 evaluators. Everything is 4, so nice. So we start off with the first speaker, who is Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴. Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴 is actually the latest Toastmaster, newest Toastmaster from Toastmaster Club, and he is doing his first ever project called as Icebreaker. So in order to save time, I wouldn't call evaluators and GE to read this. I would like you all to read, and I also can read a bit about purpose statement. So the purpose of this project for Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴 is to introduce himself to the club. In fact, this is a special moment because he introduced himself to 2 clubs and also learned the basic structure of the public speech. So from what I've been talking to Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴, he's doing a PhD students in mathematics. We had a good time talking about academic things since I'm studying too, and I had a lot of insights from him. So, but I believe that this speech will be a very good, insightful speech that he will give to us about his life. So again, I would like to, before calling out Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴, I would like to let Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤𝐼𝐸 to have mic test.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yep. Okay.
Is this better now?
Yeah, I think it's okay already. We just have to switch down our volume a little bit. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's great. So the microphone and the reduced fan speed, that should suffice, right?
Yep. Okay, so thank you so much, Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤𝐼𝐸. Before I invite Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤𝐼𝐸 to the stage, I'd like to talk a little. I'd like to have the formal sessions to call upon the speaker. Quarter life crisis. 𝐭𝐤𝐼𝐸, quarter life crisis. Over to you.
Okay. Good evening to all the Toastmasters to my fellow Toastmasters in and UTAR SG. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Toastmaster of the evening, 𝐵𝐿, which is here right now. My mentor Lucy, which helped me to organize my speech a little bit here and there, and cameras, angles here and there. And also, I'd like to thank my evaluator Pei for giving some of her time to do the job. My name is 𝐁𝐤𝐼𝐸. You may call me 𝐤𝐼𝐸 for short. As 𝐵𝐿 has said earlier, I'm a first year PhD student in mathematics in I'm a Clarion, which is a stone throw away from KL, which I hope you guys know where it is. If you don't know, maybe I will take you there one day. Who knows? And currently, I'm 26 years old. So I hope this explains the first half of the title I chose for the speech today, Quarter Life Crisis. Yeah, quarter indeed. Non-academic stuff-wise, I kind of enjoy listening to electronic music, ranging from drum-bass, house, trance, and to some extent a bit of dubstep. Fun fact about me is that I do play a bit of DJ set when I was an undergraduate. And of course, I also like to read random Wikipedia articles during my free time. Not necessarily mathematics, but you got the gist. So I aspire to become an educator, aiming to make a difference by inspiring others, younger generation, people like you or anyone else. Of course, this is why I joined Toastmasters in the first place. Basically, I want to learn how to prepare and also make effective speeches and presentations for the masses, including you guys and people around me, particularly on making something boring into something interesting. I guess my field of studies should be suffice to explain what I mean by boring in this instance. So this concludes a short discourse about myself. So right now, I'd like to share my experience from the time I graduated, leaving the undergraduate life behind in 2018 and until the time I am right now. So I believe this was a crucial moment of my life. I hope you guys will give it a listen. So it started back then, 2018. I graduated. I was rejected from University of my dreams, from doing PhD because number one, lack of funding. Number two, it was very competitive. It's like maybe 3 or 4 seats for hundreds of applicants. It's not that simple. I remember one of which is Oxford. Got through first round interview, but second round failed. I don't know how it happens, but yeah, that was quite sad. So basically, the first thing I did is I go to work as a temporary school teacher, secondary school teacher. I love teaching, so that's why I go for this first job. At the same time, I don't mind the meager pay because actually I'm intending to apply to other places like in US, UK, US, UK, and also continental Europe in particular, and also taking the necessary admission tests. Probably some postgraduates here know what is GRE. That's what I took. So it's been few months I start working in this company, working as a teacher, and suddenly an offer letter from an insurance company got in. It's a permanent job, and it sounds good at first, but the thing is that I wasn't keen because I have no idea what the heck is finance or what insurance is. I just attended the interview just for the sake of exposure and just got it. Wow. So at first I was reluctant to accept. Then after some consideration, because and also what if scenarios provided by my parents and my friends, i.e., you sure or not can get offer or not, that kind of thing like that. I can't tell because it's future. No one has a crystal ball in front of us. So I just accept it and I just go on working there. So first year working in the insurance company was not pleasant at first. There are a lot of things I don't know. I was a blank canvas, in fact. And some colleagues, they thought that, oh, I don't know what it, you don't know this, something so simple, they put me into trouble. So what it did to me is that I asked them a question, what is investment linked policy is, and the person gave me a blank stare. In fact, it's a way of training, you can ask that, but the trainer gave me a blank stare and he just say, I'm going to talk to your manager. Wow. You know, though the commotion was sorted out within a minute, but you felt frightened. I felt frightened. Heartbeat also go up a little bit. Blood pressure also go up a little bit. So it was not a great day indeed. But fortunately, I got used to work. I got used to it. I get along with my colleagues. Office lingo wise, I also got used to it. Working life, working routine, I also got used to it. Eventually, working life has become my new comfort zone. And in fact, PhD application status doesn't seem to concern me anymore. So after all, I was told I'm going to get a job promotion soon. So wow, that's great. So whatever rejection letter that got in doesn't really matter to me until one day I was told that I was told that I got offer from That is where I have to make a tough decision. So I chose to go to which is obvious. I'm here right now. And of course, speaking of which, speaking of whether a choice is good or whether this choice is a good choice, a wise choice, or a blunder choice, bad choice, or I make a very bad blunder is I don't know. I don't know what's the answer for this. Currently, I just working and hoping for the best of it. So I hope you guys will understand the fact that the title I chose is not pun. Okay, that is it. So is it a crisis? You may ask. Well, that depends on what you think. So you guys be a judge for that. Anyway, thank you so much for giving your time, and back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
A big round of applause to Toastmaster Yu-Meng for his completion of icebreaker speech. So you can unmute yourself to give a round of applause. Please do so. Don't think you can hear my applause, but anyway, you see it.
Shall we give a standing ovation? TMC?
Sure. Okay, let's have a standing ovation. If you are comfortable to stand, I know some of you are not. But if comfortable to stand, please give standing ovations to Toastmaster Yu-Meng. Congratulations for your completion of icebreaker speech.
Congratulations!
Yep. I made a big blunder. Not so big. I made a blunder that I forgot to have timers report for table topic sessions and also the Zoom polling. So may I now call upon timer for the timing report of table topic session?
Yes, of course. So allow me to share my screen.
Wow, let's go.
All right, here we go. I hope you can see well. So for the first table topic speaker, Ms. Khoo, she used 2 minutes 26 seconds, shows she's eligible for voting. William, he used 2 minutes 40 seconds. He overspent 10 seconds, which is a shame, to be honest. So he isn't eligible for voting. As for Saifu, he used 2 minutes 18 seconds, so he's eligible for voting. And finally, Asher, he used 1 minute 59 seconds, almost there to 2 minutes, and he is eligible for voting. That's all for my report for now. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
All right, thank you so much, Simon. Now, could we have Toastmaster to come up with the pool? So put the timing into consideration, put the performance into considerations, and just put your enjoyment for the considerations for table topic speaker, what your best, what your very best, and who you wish who will win the table topic sessions, just vote for him or her. I can see the pool running. I would like to give another couple of seconds for everyone to get ready to pool. I'd like to have at least 90% of participations of polling before I stop, continue with the session. So move your mouse or use your hand to touch, just click and submit the poll. Okay, I see the poll is almost stopped. And I will assume that the polling session has over. Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Moving on, we have the second speaker, which is who is Toastmaster Sean. Okay, Toastmaster Sean King again from University of Malaya Toastmaster Club. Before this, Toastmaster Sean is doing a level 1 evaluation and feedback second speech. And the purpose statement for Toastmaster Sean is to practice applying feedback that he received from the first speech to his second speech, which is this speech. And also after this speech, he will be using some evaluation techniques that he acquired to give an evaluations in the next meeting. So again, I would like to do a formal introductions and to the speaker. Toastmaster Sean actually sent me a speech. Everyone has different milestones in life. Getting a degree, securing a job, forming a new family. Wouldn't it be cool to have it all or leave? Sean King will be sharing his personal experiences and setbacks when pursuing his PhD part-time. PhD part-time? Interesting. So again, formal invitation to the speaker. Sean King, confession of a working PhD student. Confession of a working PhD student, Sean King.
Ladies and gentlemen, isn't it great if your name, let's say Sean King, PhD, would have been so great? I think a lot of us here, if we could, we would have pursued our PhD. I did, and I was wondering whether fellow members of the audience here have some form or intention to reach that academic climax. When I started my PhD, I felt that I could have it all. Therefore, I am not ready to take that opportunity loss. So whenever that opportunity comes in, there's a cost, there's a price to be paid. I'm not willing to afford that cost of opportunity. Therefore, I thought maybe I can do my PhD part-time. But lo and behold, what a blunder I'm about to get myself into. So if you happen to meet anyone who is about to start his PhD, don't ask this one question. Why do you want to do a PhD? And for somebody like me and Yu Ming, who is doing our PhD, don't ask question number 2, when will you graduate? Because chances are we don't even know when we'll finish our PhD. So ladies and gentlemen, this is just a fair sharing, a confession from me who is a working PhD. So just bear with me, some ranting, some sadness and emotion, but I hope that for those of you who are thinking of a PhD, do think again when you want to pursue. And for those who are in, hold on, we're all in this together. I'm going to share 3 confessions. First, although I'm from Toastmasters Club, I'm actually a UTAR student. I thought it's a very amped meeting that I shared this speech because I am a legitimate PhD UTAR student. It doesn't work. Oh yeah. So that's proof that I'm actually a UTAR student. So that's a first confession. So this sharing might relate to you. Yeah, nice picture. I know that was me like younger. So you start to see the effect of PhD on a person in the looks and also mental as well. But I think the second confession, and I want this to be something of a sharing to you guys, and it relates to the first question I asked, why do you want to do a PhD? Because chances are by the time you graduate from your PhD, a company or your client or your hiring manager may not value your PhD until your PhD adds value to them. When you look at Facebook, a lot of PhD graduates, they say like, I did this, I have thesis, I've done so many patents and research. And the funniest thing is that when they start posting on Facebook saying like, oh, I have this qualified company that is interested, come and look for me. The way it sounds and the tonality it seems have a false sense of entitlement. And I think it's rightfully so that people feel entitled because they work so hard with so many years poured in for an academic achievement. But honestly, someone who is working at the side of doing my PhD, your PhD is a really academic pursuit. Chances are what you learn, your scholastic knowledge that you gain in your PhD may not be so relevant in your work. So as a person that about to start PhD, ask yourself, does your future career pathway really needs a PhD? And if you are already in a PhD, do often remind yourself, how does this PhD actually have any value in the corporate world? For someone that's been in the corporate world and PhD, one feet at both sides of both worlds, I'm starting to feel that my PhD might not be even that relevant. And this is a very scary question. If I am a PhD student and I myself also start to question what's the value of my PhD, then it is something that you all also need to reflect as well. So ladies and gentlemen, that was my second confession. And probably the third and the last confession that I really wanted to share with everybody here is PhD is not everything. Life is. When I started my PhD, I did my MBA part-time. And I thought I can sail smoothly without a hitch. I got a distinction in my MBA. PhD should be no problem. But PhD is little but out of your control. Everything is something that you need confirmation, you need to deal with paper rejection, and this is something that you have to deal with. Rejections is just so common in the PhD pursuit. But thankfully, I took a half-half approach. I wasn't ready to invest my entire life on a PhD. And in 7 years, until now, in 7 years, I'm still doing my PhD. I also had a lot of life's milestone. I got dated, I went dating, I got married, I got kids, and thankfully enough, I also had a progression in my career 2 times during my entire 7 years of PhD. So coming back to that second question, don't ever ask a PhD student when you will graduate because they won't know when is it. But thankfully, if I were to ask that question, I said I will take my PhD at my own pace because in my life, I felt I have other important things that worth pursuing together with my PhD. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that a little bit of confession here and there doesn't really scare any of the UM or the UTAR students to pursue a PhD. I always felt that if you have the capacity, you have the time and the resources, go out, go do it full time. Don't do it like me, don't do it part-time. Seriously, it's really not easy to do it part-time. But if you can, go for it and achieve your academic dream. And when the next person asks you, why do you want to do PhD? Or when you're doing a PhD, when do you graduate? I hope my confession and my sharing gives you some thought and some idea how you want to overcome these questions. Because if that question were to ask me, why you want to do a PhD? My answer would be, a PhD will only mentally steal my mind, not truly, but harden my mind to stronger, and also make me a person that is more resilient to rejection. And when would I graduate? I'll do my PhD as long as I want. With that, I pass it back to you, to the Toastmaster of the evening, 𝐿𝐵𝐿.
Thank you so much. A round of applause to Toastmaster Sean, PhD student, for his life. As a person, I also want to do PhD in physics, and this speech, I have mixed feelings, but I think I get a very insightful session from Toastmaster Sean. All right, next up we have Toastmaster 𝐿 presenting to us his persuasive speaking project. It's a level 3, it's a little bit tough, but let's see how it's gonna do it. So Toastmaster 𝐿, your evaluator will be Toastmaster 𝐿𝐻𝐼𝐺𝐻. So Toastmaster 𝐿𝐻𝐼𝐺𝐻 will evaluate Toastmaster 𝐿. And again, so sorry, I confused. I made a blunder again, huh? So it should be Toastmaster 𝐿 first. So perhaps the slides is a little bit wrong. Yes, Toastmaster 𝐿. All right, this one. Okay, let's welcome Toastmaster 𝐿. He is an electrical electronics engineering student. There's a lot of E, huh? Electrical electronics engineering students. He shared me one quote that's not applicable to him. University is easy because you only study the subject you like. I believe this quote is not only applied to him, but applied to any one of us. And we all agree in this, huh? University is tough. So without further ado, let's welcome Toastmaster 𝐿. 𝐿, who owns my smartphone? Who owns my smartphone? 𝐿.
Thank you, Toastmaster 𝐿𝐵𝐿. Who owns my smartphone? Do you think smartphone is a necessity nowadays? Of course, it is a necessity. Can you imagine leaving your house without a smartphone? How are you going to scan your QR code? Nowadays, it is very common for everybody to carry a smartphone. However, do you actually own your smartphone? Smartphones are basically pocket computers, right? What I don't like about smartphone is that they put limitations on basic features. 2007, the first iPhone was launched. 14 years later, you still cannot use YouTube when your screen is off. What is this? The other thing about smartphones is that compared to traditional computers, they have so much advertisements. That is why when I set up my smartphone, I modified it, I installed an ad blocker, happy to use it for 2 whole years. I was very happy, very satisfied. It was the best experience I had. And recently, the government, they did the 𝐸𝐵LIA program, right? So of course, I want the 𝐸𝐵LIA program. I love money. Do you all love money? I love money. So I wanted to claim the 𝐸𝐵LIA program. And during the 𝐸𝐵LIA program, I realized my phone, GrabPay doesn't want to work on my phone. Shopee doesn't want to work on my phone. 𝐻𝐿 e-wallet doesn't want to work on my phone. And then for whatever reason, since now online class, but my phone also cannot use Microsoft Teams. So why it doesn't work? I didn't know why it doesn't work. So I go and search around with Google. Then I didn't notice that because I modified my phone, right? So my phone is unsafe to use. It's unsafe to use. So that's why these apps relating to money, they don't let me use them. So in order to use the phone, I need to reset the thing and remove my ad blocker. And I need to do that. I need to restart my whole phone again. And that got me thinking, I paid full price for the phone. So why do I have to use my phone the way other people force me to use it? It's my phone, right? I pay the thing. Why might I use it other people's way? That is what I feel about smartphones. Secondly, despite how good you maintain your smartphone, smartphones are devices made to break, also known as planned obsolescence. This is very common in smartphones, and for most smartphones, you only get updates for 2 years, 5 years if you are using an iPhone. After that, the phone will eventually become slower and you cannot use your phone anymore because your apps doesn't want to update anymore. Speaking about updates, do you know Apple was fined in several countries for secretly slowing down phones with updates? This is how they force people to upgrade to their new phones. Can you imagine this happening to other devices? So many consumer electronics are becoming smarter. You know, you have smart refrigerators, you have smart TVs, you have AI driving cars. Can you imagine the day you wake up and you cannot start your car because the software is lagging? Do you want to be forced to change your car every 5 years? How about the day where you are relying on a hospital equipment? The hospital equipment can go kaput anytime because they want you to buy their newest model. Do you want that to happen to you? All in all, I think smartphones are actually very horrible devices to spend a lot of money on. Who is it owning the phone? Are you the one who pay the money, the one owning the phone? Or is the person said, the manufacturer, the one who owns the phone? Personally, I do not think there is such a thing called buying smartphones anymore. It's more like you rent a phone for 3 years, you use it the way you're only allowed to use it, and then you just send the phone to the landfill for no good reason. So whenever you're itching to buy the latest and greatest smartphone, my advice to you is just go and get one, the cheaper phone that does what you need it to do. Seriously, smartphones are very horrible nowadays. That's all from me. Back to you, TME.
A round of applause to Toastmasters Jian-Wen. A very good topic, a very good theory. It relates me to the hot thing right now among Apple and the US government, the right to repair. If you own the smartphone, you couldn't repair it because it's too hard to repair. So you are not accessible to that parts. Do you still own the smartphone? I do not know. At least I can use my smartphone to watch things that I wanted to watch. And at least I didn't break it. It's fine lah. But once I break it, I will be very mad about the right to repair things. Okay, so last but not least, we have a last speaker, Toastmaster Dr. Saras, a lecturer teaching in UTAR SG, and she's doing level 3 projects, connect with storytelling. So today, Dr. Saras is going to tell us a story, maybe a story, maybe 2 stories, maybe lots of stories that really makes her to show her skills in telling stories. So her evaluator will be Toastmaster Pei Chai from Kuching Toastmaster Club. So without further ado, let's welcome Toastmaster Dr. Saras. It's a lot of title, huh? Let's welcome Dr. Saras. Dr. Saras, part of the family. Part of the family, Dr. Saras.
This is a story of a brave and yet small dog named Lasson. She was named after a professional Swedish football player. Her full name is Henrik Larsson Byrason, and Larsson is just a nickname. She is a Japanese spitz and she's white in color. Her fur is as white as snow, and she has a very sharp 2 ears, which complements a white fur. She also has sharp teeth, as though she belongs to German Shepherd breed instead. Larsson was born in my father's neighbor's house in Malacca. I transported her in a palm-sized lychee basket. It was a 2 hours journey to reach my house in Kajang. Surprisingly, Larsen behaved very well, although she was very terrified in the car. She was very surprised when she reached my house because it was an apartment on the 6th floor. Larsen was very small. She was just 2 weeks old puppy. So she drank from a milk bottle and she refused to eat. Therefore, I had to soak her dry food in water and I had to make some balls, small balls, and stuff those balls into a mouth. And whenever she was eating, she will lie on my lap facing me upside down. And she will be waiting there anxiously for her food to come. I had to open her mouth wide and I have to stuff the balls of food into her mouth. And this process followed with 2 tablespoons of water. She ate Science Diet dry food because it was very good for Japanese speed. It helped her to stop her from shedding so much. Larsen later on grew to become very cute, adorable dog, and everybody who around her loved her so much and unconditionally. Larsen was very cute and she had pink eyes. Her eyes was really pink. And if you see into her eyes, you can see that she's so adorable and she has a white bushy tail. And whenever she's around people she loves, she will wag her tail non-stop. And everybody loves her so much. And therefore she was pampered and this led her to be spoiled as well. Another memory that I have, which I have vividly in my mind, was when Larsen followed me in the bride's car, traveled in the decorated bride's car from Malacca to Kuala Kangsar Perak to attend my wedding. And I had to put her in the bridegroom's house because I stayed on the eve of my wedding, I stayed in the hotel. And the next day after my wedding, when I went to my husband's house, she was the first one to welcome me into my husband's family. She was a part of the family in my house as well as in my husband's house and as well as in my family's house. Larsen grew very well and later on my husband really fell in love with her. He used to take her for her morning walks, regular walks around the car park. He will bring a plastic to pick up her droppings. And this was also to keep her healthy. And it was like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. She also went to a regular medical checkup and her doctor really loved her as well. Dr. 𝐻𝐸𝐿, he loved her because of her name. Remember, I told you all that she was named after the Swedish professional football player, and Dr. 𝐻𝐸𝐿 is a really great fan of football and he loved Larsen because of her name. He used to wait to see Larsen coming for her medical checkup. Later on, Larsen grew up to be a very majestic dog and she used to lie down and watch TV and that was a favorite routine. When she was a bit bigger, we decided to move to a bigger house to give her a space for her to run around, an ample of space. And Larsen was always white in color because she will take a bath twice a week. And this task was given to my children when they grew up. Every week she will bathe twice a week. And when she went to my new house, she had the freedom because she could bark freely. Larsen's voice was very sharp and she has a very piercing sound, thunderous voice. And this made some of the neighbors to be very uncomfortable with her presence. She barked freely at all the cats, birds, squirrels, anything that she saw around her. Unfortunately, one day a vengeful thing happened to her. Somebody did a very, I will say, very horrifying thing to her. They threw some pieces of chicken whereby some small needles were poked into the chicken into my garden. And Larson, poor dog, she ate it without unknowingly, and she fell ill. For 2 weeks, she suffered. We brought her to 3 different veterinarians. Unfortunately, we couldn't save her. At last, she departed from us. Her soul left us in our house, in our kitchen, and we had a funeral. Many of my friends, my close relatives, attended her funeral. They came with flowers, bouquets to grace her because they know how imperative she was to us. She was buried in my garden, and there were no any dry ice during the ceremony. We planted a tree after that, and we named the tree Larson's tree. And until today, it has been 9 years since she departed from us. We will still go to the tree and we share our feelings. Any happy news, sad news, we still share with her. And in fact, every morning I light up incense stick at her tree. To the world, Larson is just a dog, but to us, she was a part of the family. And Larson, dear Larson, I want to say this to you. We really, truly, truly, truly love you. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Dr. Saras, for sharing such a wonderful story. I was in an emotional ride, starting from happiness, from cure, all the way into sadness, to regret. So to lighten the mood a little bit, I would like to have pets. I would like to have dogs and cats, but ever since some random dogs bite me and chase after me, and some random cats pee into my keyboards, right? Ever since then, I didn't want to have pets already. So yeah, maybe that's my issues. So anyway, now we have completed all 4 speakers. Forget a round of applause to Toastmaster Dr. Saras. And we move on to the next session, which is photo sessions. So I would like to pass the floor, or rather pass the Zoom to Zoom Master Ken.
So thank you.
Oh, sorry. Before this, I would like to have timers. Again, blunder, timers for the timing reports.
All right, let's do it again. Allow me to share my screen. All right, here we go. So congratulations, Yumi, you finished your first icebreaker speech in Toastmaster. However, you used quite a lot of time. You used 7 minutes, 19 seconds, which unfortunately rendered you ineligible for voting. Next, we have Sean, who talks about PhD. Very good. You used 7 minutes, 3 seconds for your speech, so you're eligible for voting. Next, we have Jimin, who talks about cell phones. Now I'm looking at my cell phone. Who knows it anyway? We have used 5 minutes, 59 seconds, close to 6 minutes, so you're eligible for voting. And finally, Dr. Saras, I'm so sorry for your loss. Larson's a really cute dog. And as for your speech, you used 7 minutes, 15 seconds, so you're eligible for voting. That will be all from me. Back to you, Toastmaster, for the evening.
All right, thank you so much, timers, for the timing reports. Again, put your considerations of timing, put your considerations of the speaker performance into your voting. Zoom Master, please launch the poll. I'd like to have 10 seconds of voting. So please be quick. After that, we have a photo sessions. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. I suppose the voting has already finished. Again, Zoom Master, it's your show time for the photo session.
So thank you, Toastmaster. Evening. Minkan. Let me change to the speaker. Change to the gallery view. Okay. So now it's the photo taking session. So I think everyone joining the Zoom, every one of you joining the Zoom can open your camera so that I can take the photo. So I'll give you 5 seconds to open your cam. I see that there's few people still keep their cam closed. Brian, Quack, Jenny Tan, Felix, Beatrice, Hong Bin. So, and okay, I think that's it. So, okay, first, okay, ready? Wait, please stop using the chat box while I'm taking a screenshot at the moment. So in 3, 2, 1, smile. Let me save the photo. One more. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, let me save the photo, and now this one we can give a funny face. Funny face. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, just now got second page. I forget. So now a normal one, normal pose. One more. 1, 2, 3. Smile. First page. And here we go, second page. Okay, I think I have all the photos already. And back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters. Unfortunately, we only could have afford 1 minute break. So make sure you utilize this for your bio break. Drink some water, to have some snacks or whatever. We will resume the meeting at 9:03.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we will move on to our evaluation session. So evaluation session. First, let us welcome our table topic evaluation by 𝐿𝐵𝐶𝐻, IP3. 𝐿𝐵𝐶𝐻, Toastmaster 𝐿𝐵𝐶𝐻, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster William. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have 4 very good speakers presenting their table topics to us. So let us start with Miss 𝐶𝐻. So the title of Miss 𝐶𝐻's speech is The Most Embarrassing Moment in Her Life. And she is very honest about it. She was not afraid to speak about her blunder, about her stories, about carrots. So by speaking her personal experience, it makes her story much more relatable to us because it's real and therefore it's more believable. And since her topic was very funny, she managed to implement some funny gestures into her speech to make it more memorable too. Like for example, when she was speaking about her receipt, she used a gesture like small receipt to make it hyperbolic and make it much more funnier. So I find that very good. One thing I would suggest to Miss 𝐶𝐻 is that perhaps you could reduce some of the less meaningful body gestures to emphasize more on the more meaningful body gestures like the receipt so that it would stand out more. Next, we have Toastmaster William. So his topic was about imagining a world without failure. And the way he presented it was very informative and philosophical. He first started with introducing us to the concept of utopia and dystopia, which is very deep and meaningful. And to make things better, his speech was very well structured. And he ends his speech with a quote and a take-home message, which was to challenge, to fail, and to achieve better. And he used himself as an example, which makes his speech much more motivating. One thing I would suggest Toastmaster William is that perhaps you could use more body gestures to emphasize your speech. Like for example, your take-home message, you could do something like to challenge, to fail, and to achieve better. So it would be much more immersive that way to me. Next, we have Toastmaster Saiful. So I can see from Toastmaster Saiful's speech that he was very experienced. He started off with a very interesting opening, which was to use salt and water to represent success and failure, which I find it very amusing and very immersive. I believe that this method would be able to draw a lot, if not all people into your speech immediately. And to make things better, Toastmaster Saiful used a lot of meaningful body gestures to emphasize on his point, which made his speech that much more meaningful. One thing I would suggest Toastmaster Saiful to improve on is perhaps you could try to implement more pacings and stress into your speech. You did implement this to a certain extent, but then I feel that perhaps you could experiment more with it to make your speech better. Last but not least, we have Toastmaster 𝐿𝐵𝐶𝐻. So This topic was, should a person be punished after his or her failure? So in order to attract the audience's attention, he started off with a question, which I find it very good. And Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴𝐴 was a very humorous speaker. The way he presented his speech was humorous all way long. Like, for example, when he was talking about his teacher asking him to put a full stop, the way he put it, like, my teacher tell me to full stop, full stop, full stop. The way he put it right, the way he speaks and he acts really made that experience much more immersive. And I really feel like I'm watching a very comedic speech. So I believe you have achieved what you wanted to do. So one thing I would suggest is that perhaps you could try to go slower during your speech, because I find that sometimes you would go a little bit fast, and especially for this kind of story, right? Perhaps the audience would need more time to sort of imagine the scenario. So by going slower, you would provide room for the audience to imagine and then follow your story better. And of course, you would also have more time to arrange your thoughts better. So all in all, a very good job from everyone, and I hope to hear from all of you more soon. That's all from me. Back to Toastmasters of the evening.
Thank you so much. Table topics evaluator. Just for disclaimer, I'm not the person who should host these sessions. So table topic evaluation suddenly started. No worries. Now I'm going to officially pass the role to General Evaluator Toastmaster Annie Wong. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, 𝐵𝐿. Yeah, well speech and well evaluation from our table topics evaluator, Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤. Yes, all the points that Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤 had already mentioned is I agree upon, and I would like to evaluate at this moment on Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤. All right, so for Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤, you have a very engaging and motivating evaluation to all the brave souls, that all these 4 people that have shared their experience and their story in this table topic session. I would like to share a little bit of the improvement from Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤 over here, that maybe you would like to pause for a little while for the first table topic speaker to sink in what you would like to share with him or her, then only we move on to the second speaker's evaluation. And also would like to remind you to look into the little pit hole over here to engage with the audience rather to look on the screen. Yeah, so this is some of the feedback to you, yeah, Toastmaster 𝐭𝐤. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the first speaker evaluators, 𝐵𝐻𝐻, Toastmaster 𝐵𝐻𝐻, to evaluate on 𝐸𝐵𝐿. Over to you, 𝐵𝐻𝐻.
First of all, well, congratulations, 𝐸𝐵𝐿, for upon completion of your icebreaker speech. Your speech is very relevant to me. I can feel the struggle, especially with you talking about funding when you wish to further your study in overseas. The grief of wanting to achieve something so badly. First of all, for the first timer, it's good to express your gratitude to a mentor or evaluator, etc., because it helps to decrease your nervousness. And at the beginning of your speech, I would like to thank my evaluator to spend her time to do her job. Yeah, that's what you talk about. And the second thing is your speech is very informative. This is because your speech is very different from the usual icebreaker speech. Your presentation style is very natural, without faking up your accent, etc., which I love it so much. For example, you talk about you like reading Wikipedia during free time. It helps us to truly understand about you. And in order to improve in your next speech, you could improve in your eye contact, because it enhances the audience engagement. For example, you can give the natural eye contact while telling your story. Don't have to stare very hard because it will cause nervousness. All in all, you are good at keep yourself calm and informative speech. you can improve your eye contact. Looking forward to your next speech. Thank you. Back to G.
Thank you, 𝐭𝐫. Yeah, a wonderful evaluation again, 𝐭𝐫. And one more tips for you, 𝐭𝐫. As a Toastmaster, as an evaluator, even though we would like to point out the good point for the speaker, we would like to do it smilefully, cheerfully, and because you give an evaluation in a serious face, so I feel like a little bit heavy to take it. So maybe 𝐭𝐫, one suggestion that next time, if you would like to give an evaluation, be a cheerful Toastmaster and evaluator. Yeah, all right. Love you 3000. Next, I would like to invite the second speakers evaluators to evaluate on PhD to be Sean. The evaluator is William. PI4. Over to you, William.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'm Pang William, evaluator from the PhD candidate that we witnessed just now. First of all, I would like to express my surprise when I've discovered and when I found out that the person that I'm going to evaluate is a PhD candidate, and he has kids and children also. So that was very surprising. Okay, without further ado, let me give an evaluation to you. First of all, I like that throughout the speech, you have smile. You have a smiling face throughout the whole speech, and that is very rare to see a smiling face on a PhD candidate or a PhD student. Because I had a lot of lecturers, all of them are PhD, and none of them like to smile. That smiling gesture is very good because it's very comfortable to listen to you, to your speech. And moving on, for your previous evaluation or previous evaluator has given some comment, which is about your hand gesture and eye contact. I discovered that I found out that you have improved on that. For example, hand gesture, I noticed that you are trying to make some hand gesture when you are giving a point. Then about eye contact, I noticed that throughout the whole speech, you have a very consistent eye contact with the camera. So I can feel that you are talking to us, that you are very genuine and very sincere. So room for improvement is that, okay, let's talk about that first. One more good point about you is that your structure of your speech. You give a very good structured speech. At first, you tell us what not to ask to a PhD student, which is why you chose to study PhD and when are you going to finish your PhD. That is very interesting question, and that is also a very good question that make me ponder, because I also thought so maybe I want to tackle this PhD. Then after you ask such question, in the later content, you also answer them by giving the reason and the example to us. So I found out that this is very good structure. So for the room for improvement, I think that you can make some vocal variety for your speech. For example, when you say, do not ask PhD this question. Why do you want to study PhD? And when are you going to finish your PhD? So you can make some vocal variety so that you can emphasize the thing that you are trying to tell us. Because I noticed that throughout your speech, the tone is quite mono. That means no up and down. So if you want to, I challenge you in your next speech, you can put in more vocal variety. Thank you. Basically, that's all from me. We can have a chit chat later for further discussion on your speech. Thank you. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, William. William, of course, there's no more other things that I can add on because you already pinpoint all the good point of this PhD candidate. One thing that I would like to suggest for you is to move a little bit back when you do the evaluation so that the people can look at your hand gestures as well. All right, that is one good tips for you. Yeah, thank you very much. And next, I would like to invite DTM Rohijas to evaluate on the third speaker, Jian-Wen, Presentation Mastery Level 2. Over to you, DTM 𝐿.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I have a confession. I did not read the agenda before this meeting, so I didn't know what Jian-Wen will be talking about. I spent this entire afternoon today on the way to this meeting researching about smartphone in IOI Mall Puchong. Deja vu. Jian-Wen then spoke about smartphone. Oh my God. But that was a very well organized meeting. Who the heck is that? Sorry. That was a very well organized speech, Jian-Wen. Opening question, you interacted with the audience. You had your first point, the limitations, your second point, the planned obsolescence, and finally, you had that persuasive call. You started with, my advice is, ... So you did not do any blunder at all in this particular speech project. Congratulations. So my only two areas of suggestions for your consideration. Number one, have a more clear, more specific problem statement to match your call for action, to match your persuasion. Because halfway, all the way through your speech, I was wondering, I was trying to guess what would be your persuasive call. I could not have guessed your persuasion, what you're trying to persuade me was, don't think so much, just buy a smartphone. It's going to be limited anyway, it's going to be obsolete anyway, just buy anything. So the problem statement was not set in my mind, so I was guessing what you were trying to persuade. That's number one. Number two, I challenge you. I challenge you to speak up and look piercingly into your camera in order to captivate me, in order to persuade me all the way through your speech. In summary, thank you for a very well organized, persuasive speech. Just speak up and pierce into your camera. May you become a more persuasive persuader in the future. Back to you, GE.
Thank you, DTM 𝐿. Wow, wonderful sharing. And I like the moment that you said, look, not only look into the camera, but piercingly into the pit hole over here. Thank you very much. A very sharp comment that you have given to Jian-Wen. And overall, I would, there's another fourth speaker's evaluation. Thank you. All right, now is the time to invite Pei Chai, Dynamic Leadership Level 5, all the way from Kuching Toastmaster Club, to evaluate Dr. Sarah's EH Level 2. Over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been served by Dr. Sarah on her touching stories of her beloved pet. Dr. Sarah, you excel in delivering the story, and you successfully touch the audience using a true life story of your pet and the relationship with your family. I would like to salute and to kudos you on this successful storytelling project. First of all, you use a very good hand gestures as if the pet now is pampered with you. And at the same time, you use a very soft tone when you are spending a happy moment with your pet. And you use a very slow and heavy tone when you are describing the sad moment with your beloved pet, which describe and paint the whole picture clearly in front of us. This is the strong point of your storytelling speech that you delivered just now. Then secondly, you successfully brought us through the journey of the pet, starting with the first day when you discovered your beloved pet, then slowly how the pet grew to a small puppy, then in the end, adult doggy, then lastly ended in a tragic accident, which is something that you brought us through the whole journey, as if the pet is with us. We are looking at how it grew from a small puppy until the end, which add in a lot of spices and a lot of feelings in your story, which is a very strong and a successful storytelling method, a method of story progression. This has successfully captured us, and you build a very good and a very strong bond with your audience. And with all this said, I would like to add in one point so that you can elevate your storytelling experience. PowerPoint slide is a good tool to deliver stories, to deliver information, to deliver data. But in this case of storytelling, I think PowerPoint slide maybe distract us from your warmth and touching story. Try to deliver your storytelling without PowerPoint and put in more human touch, gestures, and warmth into your storytelling project. I think this will greatly improve the connection with the audience. With that said, I pass back the control to GE. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Pei Chai. Very good evaluation, as well that I also agree with you, Dr. Saras. You have a sweet voice, sweet story. The PowerPoint, maybe you just want to show one slide or two slides, then after that you can stop it, and then you can show your face to show your touching gestures. And anyhow, I would like to add on one point that Dr. Saras, I noticed that you are doing engaging humor pathway, but you are delivering a very touching storytelling. So maybe in this pathway, you may want to engage with different kind of storytelling instead of telling about your dog, the sad story, very unfortunate story. Maybe you would like to tell a different kind of engaging humor type of a story that will fit back to your engaging humor pathway. So this is only one of my humble input for you, yeah, Dr. Saras. All right, now I would like to invite the timer to show the evaluator's timing report. Over to you, timer. Kai-Hong.
Thank you, GE. So allow me to share my screen once again. So we can see from here that table topic evaluation, he used 4 minutes 25 seconds, which was so close to getting eligible for voting. And next we have Pei, who used 1 minute 58 seconds, so she's eligible for voting. William, who used 3 minutes 20 seconds, so he's eligible for voting. Next we have Rohijas, who used 2 minutes 42 seconds. He is eligible for voting as well. And finally, we have Pei Chia, who used 3 minutes 30 seconds. So she is eligible for voting. Congratulations to all, and that will be all for my report. Back to you, GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kai-Hong. Now I would like to invite the technical role players to give the before that, we would like to vote for the best evaluator. Is our poll ready?
Yes.
Yes, please vote for the best evaluator, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we have Pei, William, Rohijas, Pei Chai, and Goy. Are we good to proceed?
I think can wait 5 more seconds.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I shall continue while you are completing the poll, all right? Cool. So I would like to invite Grammarian Joshua, Toastmaster Joshua, to deliver the Grammarian report for tonight's session. Over to you, Grammarian Joshua.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Allow me to share my screen.
We can't see your screen yet.
Oh, yes. Now?
No. Ah, yes, now can already.
Okay, that's great. So this is my grammarian's report. So for today, word of the day, 𝐵𝐴, use 4 times blunder for any once, who once, Jinwang 2, Saifu 2, Asher 1, Yumeng 1, Sean 1, Goy 1, and DTM Rohijas 1. And that's a lot of blunder usage. Next is the good selection of words, phrases, idioms, or rhetorical devices. For Thomas, practice makes perfect. William, a calm sea will not scout a brave sailor, and the word utopia. For Saifu, superb engineer. The best teacher is when you fail and understand. For Yumeng, blank canvas. Working life become my new comfort zone. For Toastmaster Sean, companies don't value your PhD until your PhD add values to them. A PhD will only steal my mind and resilient to rejection. For Dr. Saras, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Majestic dog. Larson is a dog to the world, but she is a family to us. For Toastmaster Goy, immersive. For DTM Rohijas, pierce into your camera. And lastly, for 𝐵𝐴, to survive in this social world. And there's 2 pronunciation that needs to be corrected. The first one is the word read. It's supposed to be pronounced, he had read my message. It's pronounced in past tense. The next one is gesture. It's pronounced as gesture, not gesture. And for the grammar, related to our teams, because we have 1 team, so it's related to our team. You mati, because this is in Malay. So in English, you die. Rotan you, so rotan in English is cane you. You got the gist, you get the gist. So many consumer electronics becoming smarter. Many electronics consumer are becoming smarter. Sharp 2 ears, which can be replaced with 2 pointy ears. Great fan, big fan. And that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grammarian. Give a round of applause to Joshua, because you can see how detailed is the Grammarian report, right? It is not easy to be a grammarian. And thank you very much, Grammarian Joshua, to share all the good phrases with the name indicated, and also all the words of the day usage for today. Thank you very much, Joshua, once again. Good job. Well done. Now, I would like to invite the second role player, which is our 𝐴 𝐴, over to you to deliver your 𝐴 report, 𝐐𝐮𝐵.
Thank you, General Evaluator. For SAA million, the repeated third time for is 1, R1, R4. And the repeated word is once, and you have. For the UTAR President Thomas, they have 0. For the Toastmaster of the evening, 𝐵𝐴, are 4 times, 3 times, and repeated words. This section, a very to lighten this mood, twice. Grammarian Joshua, 1 times. For the General Evaluator, anyone, 1 time. For the table topic master, repeated word pay attention to 2 times. And for table topic, Miss Cool are 1 time, 3 times. And the repeated words after 2, I mean 2. Saifu, Toastmaster Saifu, once. And for the speaker, Toastmaster Blooming, Toastmaster shall 1 times, R1 times, R1 times, and the repeated words is I 2 times, and the Toastmaster 7 2 times. Repeated words are the government, so in unsafe to use, this is and when. For Dr. Sarah's repeated words are she is, she will, she has, and her. For the elimination, hey chai 4 times, R1 times, and 4 times. For the repeated word is tragic. And for our table topic evaluator, Koi has repeated 1 times of R. And congratulations to our UTAR President Thomas and Timer 𝐿𝐻 and table topics Asher and our evaluation payee and Rohit and President Kenting. You are 𝐂𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐬, and good job. And for the king of the 𝐼𝐶 is Yu-Ming. I saw you repeated the word for and for several times, and the repeated words for this is as, should, and so seem to is. So this is your first project. You can have a more improvement in next time. Thank you. This is for my 𝐼𝐶 report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Zi-Xuan. Wow, another active listeners over here. This club is very good, these two clubs, the joint meeting. Thank you again for all these 𝑟𝑜𝑎. Okay, no more 𝑟𝑜𝑎 calculations, so I can do a lot of this 𝑟𝑜𝑎. All right, so now I would like to invite the timer, Toastmaster Kai-Hong, to present the timer's report.
All right. So here will be my report. So for the last section, we have Joshua the grammarian who used 2 minutes 20 seconds and Susan who used 3 minutes 11 seconds. So overall, the meeting has been completed quite on time, but this kind of blunder, overtiming or undertime blunder, could be eliminated if we keep track of all what we are going to speak and also be aware of our speed, of our delivery. So that's all from me. Back to you, JE.
Very fast report. Thank you very much, Toastmaster. Okay, thank you very much. Once again, Kai-Hong, for calculating the timing for all the sessions. And yes, you are very attentive. And also you calculated how much is the overspent and you write in the remark column there. Thank you. Well done to you. So now what is the next session? It would be, it's my general evaluator reports. All right, so I have a short report to present. Now I would like to share my slides as well. Can you guys see my slides? Yep, a bit hang, yeah. Okay, so this is my GE report for tonight. UTAR SG, is it? With the UN Toastmasters joint meeting. So what went well? I will put the GE report in the 3 sessions. The first session is what went well. And the second session is what can be done better. Then the third session is what have I learned from tonight's session, yeah? So the first one, the agenda well prepared, and also I received it quite early. It's like almost 2 days ahead. Interactive chat box throughout the meeting, which is very good. We have the interactive moment with all the audience over here. And the networking before the meeting starts, including the sound check with some of the speakers, the guests with whimsical ambient. Over here, everyone is like friends and family members, even though we are the first time meeting each other. We started at 7:45 p.m. sharp, which is so good. I like the club that start on time and also hopefully ends on time. The SAA Pavilion started with a very clear house rules, and the TME 𝐵𝐽𝐾 presentation mastery 1 is having a very nice slides prepared, together with a very clear information of Toastmaster history and Toastmaster pathway information. It is very good for the new members or even the non-members guests to understand more about the benefits of joining Toastmasters Club, which is well done. Next, the list is going on. TME is very lively. 𝐵𝐽𝐾, you are alert and you keep me well informed on the blunders that you have been made. Right, so this is doing great. Even though you made mistakes or throughout the meeting there are a few hiccups, but you manage it very well. So you are a qualified good MC overall. Zoom Master Kian-Teng, I believe you are the president of the Toastmaster Club. You are doing very well as well because you spotlighted the timer when it was over time. Right, so this is a good thing in order to remind the speaker to better stop talking already, otherwise we will go over time. What can be done better is the second session. I wish that everyone, this can be done better in your future joint meeting or your own club meeting. This is from my humble opinion. If let's say you think this is helpful, then please go ahead to apply it. If not, you can just kindly ignore, yeah? So for the first part, the agenda, I wish to include the club officer's name with their contacts. At least one contact to call either VPM or VPE or president, because throughout the whole agenda, I don't see a contact that I can call. If let's say I'm a non-guest, I'm a non-member guest, I don't know who to call or contact. And avoid confusion to remove the previous meeting's virtual background, because I thought I came into the wrong room when somebody is sharing the word of the day's desire, whereby I was told by the grammarian to use the word of the day such as blunder. All right. And be more cheerful. I see some of the speaker over here, you are very serious. So this is a place whereby we will be more cheerful, because after work, after school days, we are very stressed already. Some more PhD, we are very stressed. So Toastmaster is a non-profit organization for us to improve our public speaking skills. So over here, be lively, be cheerful. It's totally fine to make blunder mistakes, but it's good that we have this cheerful lifestyle and live lively ambient, and encourage more people to turn on the video. Maybe it's done by SAA or done by should be done by this TME, because over 33 packs just now, only 14 of us turn on the video. It's less than 50%. So nowadays we cannot meet each other physically. It's best that we turn on while in the Toastmaster meeting. Yeah. All right, and the choice of the word is very important, agree? So when it comes to certain words that is quite instructive or commanding, then we would like to avoid in this Toastmaster Club. Like for example, I want you to remember something like that. I don't want. So you may change and you may turn it into like, I would like to reflect, or I would like you to remind you on certain things. Another word, choice of the word is like overtime by 10 seconds, what a shame. So this is like, oh my God, is it something very guilty? So maybe you can turn it like, unfortunately, you're not entitled for certain, for the voting, all right? And would like to suggest every one of you, avoid using without further ado. Without further ado simply means that whatever that have been done previously is wasting time. So we don't want to wasting time anymore. Without further ado, let us continue with like that. So in order to respect the earlier speaker, so we need to change these words or this phrase into moving forward. We would like to invite who is the next speaker. To explain what is standing ovation, because I see 𝐸𝐸𝐻, Toastmaster 𝐸𝐸𝐻 had already done the first icebreaker speech. And in Toastmaster, there is one tradition which is standing ovation for the first speaker who already complete their icebreaker speech. So I see maybe here are some guests, maybe they don't know about what is standing ovation. TME may like to take note on this. Everyone has to stand up and then unmute ourselves and give cheerful to the speaker, whilst the speaker can sit down and enjoy this pride. All right. Zoom master also needs to be more alert on the spotlighting. If you tend to forget about removing the spotlighting, I would suggest you not to spotlight any speaker, because it will cause like a confusion. Why the people that is being spotlighted is not speaking, but the sound is coming from someone else. All right. And what can be done better? Toastmasters is a breeding ground, so just make it lively and be relaxed. Don't be too tense, and choose a positive word of the day that will attract positive and whimsical ambience. Because when we choose negative words such as blunder, it will attract a lot of negative aura. And for such, let's imagine, don't think about the pink elephant. So this is something that when you do certain things or you do something consciously, it will subconsciously go into your mind. That's why I always encourage people, clubs, to choose a positive words of the day. And of course, Grammarian just now had already mentioned this gesture pronunciation is gesture, not gesture. It's a common mistake in Toastmaster. And 𝐷𝐷𝐷, I would suggest you, 𝐶𝐻uen, to share the slides for all the crutches calculation instead of we looking at you and you looking at the screen and looking for all the crutches for everyone. So this is some of the humble suggestion. The last part of my report, what have I learned? Which I see that this club show Dr. Rafsi Smedley. Every time we only be introduced Rafsi Smedley. The middle name here is Chestnut. Now I learn. TME 𝐵𝐿𝐴, presentation mastery 1, you are very humble and you admit all the blunder mistakes that you have been made. EM Chong, determination attitude, you keep on improving until you achieve certain milestone. So this is what I like your attitude. Pang William, presentation PI4, world without failure equals to utopia. Tonight I learned these words, utopia. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Sean King, the PhD candidate, saying that PhD is not everything, life is. You are correct. Career is not everything, life is. Money is not everything, life is. So this is a very good quotation that I learned from you. Jen Wen, don't rely too much on our so-called smartphone. Yes, I want to throw away my smartphone. Every day have a lot of WhatsApp, rubbish WhatsApp coming in. All right. So Dr. Sarah, sweet voices, great and very touching story. I almost cried just now. And thank you very much. That's all for my general evaluators report, and over back to you, Toastmaster of today. Thank you very much. Toastmaster of the day.
So sorry. Thank you so much, General Evaluation. Without further delay, I hope this is a better word. Without further delay, I would love to pass the floor to our Toastmaster President, Toastmaster 𝐿𝐴, for the award ceremony and the closing statement. Over to you.
So thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, Toastmaster. Toastmaster evening, Toastmaster 𝐵𝐿𝐴. And now, before moving on to the closing speech session, we would have an award presentation session. Just now we have 3 different sessions: evaluation, table topic session, as well as the prepared speech session. So let's see who is doing best in each of these sessions. So may I have our SAA, Will on sharing the slide about the award session. So everyone, now is the award session. So for our table topic session, next slide. And the winner is, drum roll, best table topic speaker award presented to Ashley. Congratulations, Asha, for winning the table topic session for today's tonight meeting.
It's an honor.
Rotan.
And moving on, we have moving to the next session of the meeting, which is the project speech session. So drum roll, please. Who is the best project speech speaker for today's meeting? And the best project speech speaker award presented to none other than Dr. Saras. Congratulations, Dr. Saras, for being the best project speech speaker in today's meeting. Congratulations. And finally, for best speech evaluator. So next slide. So best evaluator award, who is that? Drum roll. And best evaluator award presented to, who is that? Rohijas, distinguished Toastmaster Rohijas. Congratulations for winning the evaluation session in today's meeting. Oh, the cert is expired, but never mind. I hope we will fix it before sending out to the award winner for the update the slide. Okay, let's say thank you SAA for the screen sharing. Oh, finally, we have an appreciation. We want to appreciate our general evaluator, Toastmaster Annie Wong, innovative planning level 5, for being the general evaluator in UNIST Malaya and UTAR SG Toastmaster Club joint meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, SA, for the screen sharing. And now we are moving on to the final session of today's meeting. Before my closing speech, we have an announcement, a closing address. So yeah, we go for the closing address first, and then we go for announcement as well as guest feedback. So for my closing speech. So leaders, distinguished Toastmaster, and guests, thank you for joining us in today's meeting. I enjoyed today's meeting very much. Just think about the session that we have just now: table topic session, prepared speech session, and evaluation session. That is just a simply combination of creativity and learning. Participants are able to unleash their creativities in the table topic session, and besides doing that, they can also learn suggestion and area of improvement from each of the speakers delivering their speeches through the evaluation session. I think for today's meeting theme, it is well chosen. Failure is the starting point. Maya Angelou once quoted, and I quote, "You may encounter many defeats, but you mustn't be defeated. And in fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can still come out of it." Think about it. Does failure demotivate us? It never does. Instead, failure enlightens us to know what we are doing wrong and what are the things that doesn't work and need to be changed. And I hope we can use failure as a moment for us to reevaluate ourselves and our doing in order to improve ourselves and to be a better version of ourselves. I want to thank all the role players joining today's meeting. Each of you are the backbone of today's meeting, and thank you for making today's meeting go smoothly. I want to thank our Madam General Evaluator, Toastmaster Annie Wong, for her generous feedback and evaluation to help us improve and host better quality meetings in the future. And I also want to thank our counterpart, UTAR SG Toastmaster Club, for coming up with the idea of having a joint meeting with us, UNIST Malaya Toastmaster Club. And I'm delighted to say that we have done it and pull it off successfully. And finally, I want to thank all the participants that joined today's meeting. I hope you learned something, and hopefully you enjoy the whole session and have a great time with us tonight.